Welcome back, everybody. JumpX Performance Podcast number 23. Austin Young is here again.
What's up? How you going?
We got Hayden in the background, but today's topic is why you don't need to overcomplicate your vertical jump exercises and do all the weird shit that you see on Instagram, YouTube, or whatever, TikTok.
So much whack shit that isn't even necessary.
Yeah, and we have pretty similar views on this, you and I. And that's like the way we program is very similar because we're big believers in keeping it quite simple and only really complicating things when you need to. And for 99% of the athletes in the world, you don't really need any of this fancy stuff because, you know, if you're not jumping over like 50 inches or running under like 10 seconds in 100 meter, those are like extreme examples. Your training is going to be pretty basic and you just got to focus on the qualities that you want to get better. And you do that through doing not basic exercises, but, you know, the bread and butter, the meat of the strength and conditioning world. Yeah,
what a lot of people don't understand is that with all these fancy exercises, a lot of the argument is, it's more specific, but the specificity doesn't come from how the exercise looks or how the exercise is performed. It comes from the adaptation you're trying to get from the exercise.
Yeah.
Right? So, for example, a heavy half squat is more specific to the 2-foot approach jumping because it more closely mimics the joint angles you're going to jump from, and you can load the position heavier and harder.
Yeah.
Right? So, and because of that, you're going to be exerting more force from a position that's a little bit more specific, loading the exercise more as well, which is going to translate and carry over into your 2-foot approach jump extremely well. And we've seen that every time I've had a half squats.
But then people ask, why don't you always just do half and quarter squats to jump higher?
Because if you're too specific for too long, it's a good way to get injured. Your knees get out. It's not necessary to do that year round. Right? No. You want to keep training general for the most part because the adaptations you're trying to get, they're general. You want to improve how much force you can produce. You want to improve how fast you can produce the force, right? And you want to leave the specificity to the actual thing you're trying to get better at, aka jumping.
Yeah. It's like people try and do all these like mimic jumping exercises in the gym that are like specific to jumping. But like you said, you got to be general in the gym. And when you want to actually do your activity, that's your practice in doing your specific exercise. So that's why we program people like, 1-2 dunk sessions a week. And we don't just go giving them like fucking jumps every day. Because either one, you're going to get hurt, and two, you're not actually going to be focusing on things that are going to make you better. So you keep the jumping in there to, obviously keep practicing the motions of jumping, improving your technique, getting the reps in. But you use the gym to focus on the things that you're bad at. So your force production, how quickly you produce the force. And I think it's a big trap people fall in. We see a lot of dumb stuff at the gym sometimes. People think training athletic.
Yeah, people think like training athletic, you need to do this fancy, crazy stuff that looks athletic, right? But that's just couldn't be further from the truth, right? And the smarter you get, the more you learn, the more you realize, the more simple it is. It's literally so simple.
Yeah.
Right? The applications are simple. What is a little bit more complex is what goes on behind the scenes in terms of the programming, how exercises are put together, all that sort of stuff, and that's why JumpX exists, right? That's why we do what we do. Right? But a lot of people that do our programs are like, I've done all these exercises before, right?
We got messages as well.
Yeah, they just haven't done it in that sort of order, in that sort of way, in that sort of dosage, all before. And whenever someone jumps on our training, they're like, oh man, I love the structure. I'm getting now. I'm like actually starting to progress. I'm jumping higher. I'm getting stronger. Yeah. And they're doing all the same things they were doing before, but it's just how all those things were put together.
It's the ingredients thing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's one of my favorite quotes you ever said, man. I don't know if you invented it, but everyone's got the ingredients. Anyone can go off and do their fucking Bosu Bowl back squats, right? Yeah. All those weird fancy exercises. But it's the chef that can put the right ingredients together at the right time. Cook things for the right time. In the vertical jump world, that's like how much you sprinkle in like back squats or whatever, the equivalent. And the chef can bring those all together to make a nice meal. And what in our versions, the coaches can come together and bring that into a nice program because, obviously, you've seen like back squats, you've seen Nordics, And we have those in our programs.
Yeah.
But it's the way we program them because we know, how long they might take to recover from, how long it takes to detrain from certain things.
Mm-hmm.
When you need to focus on certain things, if you're lacking in one area, if you're overcompensating in another area. So that's why we do individualized coaching. And no one's program is the exact same because everything's fully individualized to the athlete, right?
Exactly. But yeah, that's what you just need to think about when you're doing exercise. What am I actually getting from this exercise? What's the benefit I'm actually getting from this exercise? What result and outcome am I actually trying to get from this exercise? Is doing a single leg Bosu ball Romanian deadlift, is that going to be effective? Like, what are you trying to achieve with that, right? Balance?
You're not a toddler, bro.
Huh?
You're not a toddler.
Yeah, maybe, right?
But how often is balance the fucking low-hanging fruit for someone? It's rarely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where, like, breaking down an exercise, right? Because of the instability you're creating with the Bosu ball, you're limiting how much you can load your hamstrings and glutes and lower back and all those muscles properly, right? And in turn, actually reducing how effective the exercise is.
Stop trying to combine exercises.
Yeah.
You're better off doing them separately, doing them both proper, than getting a subpar stimuli from just doing them combined.
It's like when people do those heel float Bulgarian split squats or rear foot elevated split squats. So where you're doing a Bulgarian or a rear foot elevated split squat.
Yeah.
But then you have your toes elevated and you're pushing up through your heels. So you're doing like a calf isometric while doing the Bulgarian split squat.
Never seen that being done in real life.
Oh, it's very common. I see a lot of strength coaches do it.
That's sick, man.
And like, there's some validity in doing that, right? But it's like, what's happening is, like, that's where it goes back to thinking about what are you actually getting from that exercise. They're improving ankle stiffness and at the same time improving how strong your quads, glutes, and all that are through doing the Bulgarian split squat, right? Mm-hmm. But you're limiting both things, right? If you were to just do a calf isometric by itself, right? Mm-hmm. You would be able to load it more and heavier.
Well, no shit.
Right? And if you just do the Bulgarian split squat by itself, you'd be able to load it more and heavier and get a better result, get a better adaptation.
It's not really rocket science, is it?
You know, right?
Yeah.
And if the argument's like time, cool, then why don't you just fucking superset them? You know?
And the only reason you're not supersetting them is because you're a bitch and you don't want the pain.
Do the Bulgarian split squat and then superset the calf raise after when you're supposed to be resting. Cool. Now you're not using any extra time.
Yeah.
And you're getting a better adaptation from both those exercises, right? Yeah. And that's the problem with a lot of these exercises, right? And that's where you guys, see us, like, we don't just talk shit. Like, we can back everything we say up with the results we get people. Just look at our Instagram. So
99% success rate.
Yeah.
I don't want to say 100 just because that sounds like
no, it's impossible. It's like when sprays put,
99.9.
Yeah, because you can't promise 100. Yeah. There's some variables you can't control. But
one thing I did want to bring up is pliers, and kind of relates to the topic a little bit, where people think that pliers are like a magical fucking source or something. Mm. And they're amazing if you use them right, for one. But generally, people either overdo the pliers or just program the completely wrong pliers.
Yeah.
And they're so easy to overdo.
A lot of the time when people program, it's just random. There's no process behind it.
Your first plier session, depth jump off a building.
Yeah. They're not thinking about what the benefit they're going to get from actually doing that exercise is.
Adaptation, like you said.
Exactly, right? And different pliers induce different adaptations, different outcomes. Right? Mm-hmm. From actually doing like different variations, right?
Yeah.
For example, there's deeper tier pliers, right? This is where it's something a big thing I learned off plus pliers.
Matt
McKing, I think that's how he says his name. Watson.
Yeah, Matt McInnes, yeah.
Yeah, so shout out to him. Right? Legend. This is where I learned a lot of this stuff from. Like the deeper tier pliers, right? You're getting like a different adaptation from those versus something like doing a pogo jump. So an example would be like lunge jumps versus doing a pogo jump. They're both plyometrics, but they're doing two completely different things.
Yeah.
In terms of the results you're getting from them.
And before anyone asks which one's better, sorry about the answer. I hate always saying like, it depends, because I remember being in that position asking someone what's the best vertical jump exercise.
Well, it's like
depend.
It's like you're trying to cook a meal spaghetti bolognese, and you're like, oh, what's better? Which one should I use to cook? Should I
which
use
brand?
Should I use the mince or should I use the pasta?
Yeah.
You know, which one should I leave out? You know, see how dumb that is saying that.
Yeah.
You know, so
you need both. You need both. It just depends what you need at a certain time.
Exactly right. Exactly.
I was going to say something else about pliers, but so if you look at some of the best jumpers in the world, a lot of them didn't actually do pliers until late in their development. And what they did is jumped a lot, had dunk sessions, and they got strong.
Jumping is the best plyometry you can do to jump high.
Yeah, followed by sprinting.
Yeah.
They're fucking amazing. I don't think Isaiah Rivera did pliers until 1 year ago. And he had a 47-inch vert at that time.
Yeah, so same with you.
I didn't do them until this year.
Very minimally.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I did sprinting. But I didn't do specific...
That's not to say you wouldn't have benefited from doing them. Right? But they're just not...
Well, especially for me, that wasn't the low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Like the elastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just by getting stronger, my vert went...
Yeah. Exactly. But a couple more of these points here. A lot of these complicated exercises, they're harder to drive intent with because they're more complicated.
Yep.
And if you can't drive intent with them, you're not getting as good of an adaptation from them, right? If you're trying to do a Bosu ball heavy squat, right? You're not going to get the same strength stimulus as you would if you're doing it on flat ground, where you can load it more, produce more force.
I mean, it looks cool though. Gotta give them that. Looks cool.
I mean, sure. If you just want to look cool and not jump high, then cool. Yeah. But I'm sure you guys are listening. I'm sure you guys are listening to these exercises because you actually want to jump high. So
I feel like if someone listens to a vertical jump podcast, they're fairly deep into the game.
Yeah.
So yeah. Bang on with that one.
So I'm sure you guys don't care about that whole looking cool thing.
Not to say that squats don't look cool, man.
Oh yeah, it does look fucking badass. You got 4 plates.
Yeah.
On your back, you're squatting it deep. So
4 reds.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's one thing. So it's harder to drive intent with a lot of these exercises. Not that intent is always the goal. There's going to be goals of balance and other things you need to work on just to stay healthy and all that.
Qualities, yes.
Right? Those are factors. We can't ignore those. But ultimately, if you're actually trying to improve how high you jump, you need to improve how much power
at some point
you produce. And the only way you can improve how much power you can produce is through intent. So
pretty much.
The performing exercises with intent. The other thing is these exercises are harder to learn now. That can be an argument in itself. Learning to learn is a skill, or learning how to learn is a skill, blah, 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 but the exercise is just fucking dumb. Then your time would be better spent learning how to hit a new trick dunk rather than fucking learning how to learn a new dumb exercise, right?
Yeah, bro, that's like saying learning fucking algebra is helping you jump higher. Just because you're learning how to learn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why
can't you learn how to learn while doing the skill itself?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like a little argument for Olympic weightlifting that I don't fully agree with now. It's the
learning to learn one.
Yeah, it makes sense, but it's that time. What if instead of that time you're learning how to learn Olympic lifts, right? You're going out and doing fucking low rim dunks, you know what I mean? I feel like that's time better spent. But at the same time, and that's not saying Olympic lifts aren't a valuable thing to learn. They're still valuable and very useful in your training, especially for variation and stuff. But
I think for
that's just like a counter argument right there.
For intent though, I think with ollie lifting, comparing that, say you're doing back squats or whatever, it's very easy to not push with intent just because you don't want to. You can still get it done and not have intent. But with ollie lifting, if you've got your max power clean loaded on the bar, you have to pull that shit fast, as hard as you can, or you're not going to get it up. So it's almost like that fear factor that's driving the intent. That's where I ollie lifts have a benefit.
It takes ages to get to that point though, to actually truly get max intent from Olympic lifts.
And that's where the downsides come into play.
It takes ages. So.
You can use them to maintain your strength as well for variation, just because it's fun, keep training interesting. But as a whole, we don't necessarily program them that much, especially for beginner guys. But we do
still use them,
yeah. I mean, we're not going to really give you fucking complexes snatch from the knee, then back to the ground, then overhead, then a squat, and then fucking jump on a Bosu ball.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, these last 2 points, like specificity in dunking and actually jumping, not in the weight room. All right, so that's just where, like, yeah, you want. There's going to be times where your training is a little bit more specific, right? Like doing the half squats, like doing, plyometrics and stuff like that. But like, you shouldn't be trying to replicate things too much
year round.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, there's a line with it. You know?
Yeah.
So, like, there's more specific strength work, and there's more general strength work, and there's more specific players, and there's more general players.
Yeah. Actually, well. I kind of want to address a point, because I thought this was common knowledge, but from people messaging me on Instagram, apparently it's not. They'll message me and be like, what's your workout routine? And I thought it was common knowledge that, athletes on JumpX all got given different workouts. And maybe that is like common knowledge, but the fact that we update it every week or month, depending on like how the athlete progresses and what they need, I don't know if we have ever mentioned that.
We should talk about that more.
Yeah. Because I think maybe some people have this perception like we cater the program to them once and then that's it. And they just get the same shit for the rest, like forever.
It's ever evolving catering to them.
It's literally changing week to week if you have to have it changing week to week. Generally, we'll change your cycle or like your block every month or so because that gives you enough time to adapt to the certain stimuli that we're trying to get you to adapt from. Mm-hmm. And then you can change it and try and do a different thing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, these things are changing day in, day out based on your needs.
It's individualized and catered to how you're actually progressing through things.
Yeah, just wanted to address that.
But yeah, and then the other point is just, the weight room needs to be more general, right?
It's not the gymnasium, is it?
Yeah, the basketball court.
Yeah. Although it is fun doing like vertical jump specific exercises, doing pliers is way more fun than doing a set of 8 on back squat.
Do you know? Yeah, it is fun, but what's more fun? Actually getting results in.
I wouldn't mind that.
Dunks.
Yeah.
I'd rather hit new dunks than fucking do fancy pliers.
Bro, it's like your front squat sets. You want to kill yourself after everyone. But in the back of your head that this is going to help you more than doing a Bosu ball. We keep bringing. I'm sorry, we're shitting on the Bosu ball like all day. But yeah, it's going to help you more than doing these.
Let's cover stability and balance real quickly, right? So there's validity in doing those unstable surface Bosu ball exercises sometimes. So for example, like if you're prone to rolling your ankles, right? Very often when you roll your ankle, it's because you step on someone else's foot, which is an unstable surface. So that's where those balance exercises have value, right? But you also want to do both. Sometimes people roll their ankle because they plant or put their foot in a weird position. So that's we're doing it on a flat surface, right?
Eyes closed, 1 foot.
Eyes closed, all that sort of stuff, 1 foot. Moving your upper body around so then your ankle's working extra hard to balance. All right, you want to do both those things, and that's where those things have value, and that's where it's good to include those things from time to time. But you just got to realize, and you got to think about, again, going back to what am I actually getting from doing this? As long as you understand what you're actually getting from it and how it's helping you and the adaptation you're getting from it, then that's the most important part.
It won't take you from a 40 to a 50-inch vert.
Exactly.
Just by doing balance stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it's more like if you're lacking.
Yeah, exactly.
Rolled ankle. Because a lot of the time, rolled ankles just aren't even your fault.
Yeah.
Like, it's just bad luck. And, you can do all the stability in the world. If you stand on someone's ankle and you've jumped 40 inches in the air, good luck trying to, unbalance from that.
You can even get to the point, because I've done this in my basketball career, right, where I feel immediately when I step on someone's foot, and then I actually pick my foot up, deload that side of my body. So then I've avoided rolling my ankle so many times. Yeah, from doing that. Or lessened how bad I rolled my ankle.
Survival, bro.
Because I didn't just shift all my weight when I stepped on someone's foot. So, I don't know, that can be something to think about, and I haven't heard anyone ever talk about before.
Imagine just
in terms of preventing ankle injuries.
3 sets of 10 fake ankle rolls. Yeah. So you get some your mate there and you just
train your mind as soon as you feel that contact on someone's foot, you deload that.
Get the fuck out.
You deload that leg.
Or just go limp. Just
Yeah. No, I was talking about this to Gavin, right? One of my clients. Right?
Tall Gavin?
Tall Gavin. Yeah. And what he used to do is, he would, as soon as he felt someone's foot, he would go limp. So it would have the same concept.
That's funny as fuck.
He would deload that leg and just fall over.
6'8" guy just going limp.
Yeah, just collapse. And then he avoided rolling his ankle so many times from doing that. So yeah, you're risking hurting other shit by falling over, but
I feel like you fall. What are you really gonna?
Yeah, and you're probably gonna fall in a soft, controlled way.
Your body knows how to fall. Like you've fallen millions of times as a child. You know how to like brace. Unless you're Dan Snow, who has broken his wrist too many times from not letting it recover. So Dan, if you're listening to this, drink some milk.
No.
Let it rest.
Fuck milk. Milk doesn't do shit. Hot take right there, but
you don't reckon?
Topic for another day, yeah.
Talking about for like calcium.
Yeah, topic for another day.
That could be another diet podcast.
Yeah. Topic for another day. But
that's a good one.
Yeah. Anyways, is there anything else you want to talk about today?
No, I think we've kind of covered everything we wanted to talk about. Had a little rant about BOSU balls. I feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weight off our shoulders, but yeah. Anyways, guys,
if you guys cleansed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, if you guys are looking to jump high, you're looking for guaranteed results in your first 30 days, or your money back, send us a message podcast on Instagram to inquire for our full service coaching. Okay, and we'll get you all set up from there.
95% full, man.
Yeah.
It's getting close.
Well, we'll tell. Like, we literally only have 10 spots, and we got 5 to 10 people interested right now. So we signed 5 people after the past week. So if you guys are keen, get on this ASAP. All right, because our full service coaching won't be free and available forever. All right, just to clarify, not free money wise, but like free in terms of the slots.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, if you guys are looking to jump higher guaranteed, send us a message. And without further ado, we'll catch you in the next episode.
Goodbye.